The roommate and lover of Charlie Kirk's killer, Tyler Robinson, has just vanished off the face of the earth. Lance Twiggs is nowhere to be found and even left behind his own vehicle. This news is breaking just after a new shooter has opened fire against law enforcement just a few hours ago, and evidence already shows that he was highly inspired by Tyler Robinson. Finally, the fate of a woman who destroyed a Charlie Kirk memorial. And I'll tell you now, it ain't looking good. Trust me, you're going to want to hear this. I'll explain everything. Let's get started. So here we have a report. Several media outlets have reported this, but from the Daily Mail, exclusive, alleged Charlie Kirk assassin Tyler Robinson's roommate has vanished. And then they go on to say, alleged Charlie Kirk shooter Tyler Robinson's roommate has vanished. The roommate's beaten up Infinity Compact was left behind at their St. George, Utah home. The roommate has not been charged with a crime. Yeah, we know. That's because the roommate currently is fully cooperating with law enforcement. The full article, it kind of reads, St. George, Utah, the transgender live-in boyfriend of Charlie Kirk's alleged assassin appears to have fled their cozy Utah townhouse, leaving mail piling up outside. As he faces mounting criticism for not turning the accused killer in after he confessed to the hateful slaying in a string of text messages. Lance Twiggs, age 22, who has reportedly been cooperating with authorities since his partner Tyler Robinson, also 22, allegedly shot the Turning Point USA co-founder dead during a speaking event on September 10th, has disappeared. Neighbors in St. George, Utah told the Post Tuesday. Mail was spotted piling up outside the $1,800 per month townhouse the couple shared, as backlash from the public jeopardized his safety. And cops are still a presence in the quaint community even 2 weeks after Robinson was cuffed. There's a photo of the home. Nice little townhouse. I like the brick, honestly. I like the brick. I like the color. I like the what's going on there. Anyways, that doesn't matter. Jesse Riley, who lives just a few houses down from the couple, said he hadn't seen any recent signs of life in the apartment. Quote, it definitely is a shock that it happened here. It's a quiet neighborhood. You know your neighbor on your left and you know your neighbor on your right, but people are pretty isolated, he told the Post. I haven't seen anyone come out. There are still all these notes on the door, so it looks like nobody has been in there. Washington County Sheriff Nate Brooksby previously said that Twiggs was, quote, in a safe space very far away from St. George and needed to, quote, lay low for a long time. Yeah, I bet. I agree. But the problem is there's all these people. I just don't get the conspiracies here. Like, listen, I'm not saying there's never been a conspiracy. I'm not saying there's never more that meets the eye than what's being told to you in whatever crazy case. I'm just saying I feel like people, especially in the true crime community, oh man, they want to be the one who finds something conspiratorial and off and different and groundbreaking so bad that it just blinds people. To where you're analyzing, you're looking at this, graphic footage of someone getting executed, and you're looking at like all these silly things like, why did this guy sneeze 0.2 seconds after Charlie was shot? Is he allergic to the truth? Oh, we've caught him. Like, just, it very much makes sense. Here's the thing. Number one, you had police confirm, and I don't know the context of this law enforcement official saying, Lance Twiggs is in a very safe place far from home. I don't know the context or when that was or what, I feel like if it was directly related to this news update, they would have specified that. Like, hey, we reached out to local Deputy McGee, Justice McGee the third, and asked him about this, and he told us no worries. They didn't specify all that. It looks like they kind of grabbed that from somewhere, which I'm sure that was said at one point in time. But you get what I mean. But I'm also, that's also most likely what's going on. Think about it. You're a guy in Utah. You're a transgender person in a red state. You got your neighbors there. This seems like a pretty nice little neighborhood. And now all of a sudden, you and your boyfriend are everywhere. You can't escape it. I have driven to my local Dollar General to pick up some cat food and microwavable burgers. Don't you judge me. I can indulge one day a week. And I saw a digital billboard with a Charlie Kirk memorial on it. It's not just the internet. It is everywhere. I've gone to my local YMCA to work out, and people gathered in a group and were talking about it when it first happened. This is everywhere. It's inescapable. If I'm Lance Twigs, what's next? Benny Branches? Larry Logs? If I'm Lance Twigs, all my neighbors know who I am and what I did and what's going on, and everyone knows where to find me. I'd get the hell out of there too. I don't have any sympathy or empathy or anything for that guy or Tyler Robinson at all whatsoever. Let's think here. If it's not the police who have said Lance Twigs is fully and very much cooperating with them in their investigation to help gather evidence against Tyler Robinson, it is very, very possible and very likely that the police have at the very least advised him, hey, you don't need to stay where you're staying. Let's get you over here and we'll keep a patrol. We'll keep a car outside of the mailbox for you, on the night shift. A little bit of coffee and a donut and just, keep something, a veteran officer keeping their eyes peeled at 3 a.m. Very possible. If that's not the case, even if law enforcement is not assisting in keeping him safe, dude, of course he would not want to go back to that townhouse. That's the most notorious townhouse in the world for the last 2 weeks. I'm not going to be a sitting duck if I'm him. I'm not going to be a sitting duck sitting in my apartment so all my neighbors can come banging on my door and telling me how they feel and probably spitting in my face and slapping the crap out of me. Much less people from the internet if I get doxxed and they find out where I live, which they have, and it's in the police report. It's very easy who knows who's going to say, yeah, I'm getting the hell out of there. And apparently he got out of there so fast, he left his silly little car behind, his little compact, so that he could be one of those people who parks in a parking space and then you're going down the parking lot and you think you see an open space in a good spot. And so you start to turn in there. You're like, oh, nope, that's not open. That's just a stupid little, silly little, tiny little compact car. And that's tricked me into thinking there was an open spot. Yep, that's what he does. He just pisses people off, period. So yeah, of course, he had to get out of there. Let me know what you think in the comments. Are police assisting with this, or did he just up and flee? Mail is piling up. There's notes on the door. Rent probably hadn't been paid. And who knows? Maybe Tyler Robinson was the main provider of that rent. They had a romantic relationship. This isn't just, me and you, buddy, 50-50, high five, let's pay this rent. Who knows what the dynamic was? If you get into a romantic relationship, maybe Tyler felt like he needed to take on all the bills, and now he's gone. You can't pay it, so you hightailed it. Now you got notes on your door and bills piling up in the mailbox, and you even left your little car behind. I don't know. Let me know what you think. Anyways, let's move on to another shooter who is politically motivated just this morning. I'm recording this video on Wednesday of September 2025. Politically motivated and started opening fire on ICE agents and had silly things written on some of the shell casings and bullets. And who does that sound like? Tyler Robinson. You can't tell me this isn't inspiring one lunatic after another. Let me get you the details of this case. Here this is from ABC News. It says, sniper opens fire on Dallas ICE facility, killing 2 detainees and wounding 1, according to the Department of Homeland Security. Now, the shooter did ultimately die from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. It says a sniper opened fire on the Dallas Immigration and Customs Enforcement field office on Wednesday morning, today, killing 2 detainees and critically wounding a 3rd, the Department of Homeland Security said. Although only detainees were shot, the Department of Homeland Security called the shooting an attack on law enforcement. The shooter, who was on a nearby rooftop, fired indiscriminately at the ICE building, including at a van in the Sallyport where victims were shot. Now, if you're wondering, oh, well, this guy, he opened fire at this facility, but all he did was shoot detainees who were illegal immigrants. So he wasn't attacking ICE agents. He was trying to take out the illegal immigrants. Nope. You know why? Guess what they found on the casings of the clips and bullets used and possessed by him, the shooter. Here's a good photo right here. It says anti-ICE, written right there on the shell casing. When did everybody start writing things on shell casing? When did everybody start writing stuff on bullets? Now, I know this technically originated with Luigi Mangione. And then that was picked up by Tyler Robinson, who had all these stupid little, silly little brain rot internet TikTok slang words etched into his bullets. And now after that just happened, you got this person who wanted to come and attack ICE and said clearly, wrote it on their bullets, I'm anti-ICE. I don't like ICE agents. Tried to take out ICE agents, you idiot. All you did was take out the people the ICE agents arrested. Now how do you feel? And that's probably why, and contributed a lot to, percentage-wise, why he removed himself from the population of the earth. What an idiot. Thankfully, no ICE agents were harmed. Moving on to the final thing, let me tell you about this woman and the awful things she did and the awful, awful consequences she's getting as a result of it. And she's having a rude awakening. Listen, breaking update here. Arkansas activist Carrie Rollo, the woman who vandalized a Charlie Kirk memorial outside of the Bentonville courthouse, is facing the full weight of consequences. After losing her job, she has now been evicted from her home and is reportedly pleading online for financial help. But so far, sympathy and support appear absent. A sobering reminder, actions have consequences. And you see her here, very happy in her little house. And then in the bottom ones, oh man, F you, I'm gonna stick my little middle finger up. Yeah, I'm shooting birds. You stink. Yeah, screw you. You've been evicted, lost your job. You can't pay for anything. You suck. That's kind of what happens when you just coldly, heartlessly celebrate the death of any human. Go figure. So there's a little feel-good news for you. Now, I do have more. Florida man says he has trademark approved after he allegedly acquired rights to Charlie Kirk's, quote, Turning Point USA merch. Part of the proceeds will go to Black initiatives and Planned Parenthood, which didn't turn out too well for him. Here's his claim right here on the video.
Figure I'd make the same type of video because I bought the merchandise rights to Turning Point USA as well as the toy rights. I did that. I bought the alligator Alcatraz. I bought the Turning Point USA a few months ago when I first started this journey, and it just now went from pending to active. So we officially own the Turning Point USA merchandise rights. Peace. So part of these proceeds are going to go to Black pilot programs, Planned Parenthood for abortions and things like that. A lot of stuff Charlie didn't like.
He goes on to say, next week's cease and desist should go out. We will see how they want to play it. Now, all I have to say about this is, yeah, I'm no legal expert. I'm not a lawyer, but pretty sure that's not how this works, buddy. And also, I don't even know if I believe you in the first place. The ceilings of your home and your dwelling look very low. They look quite close to the top of your head. And I'm not judging, but I'm just saying, if you can't afford ceilings that don't almost scrape the top of your noggin, I don't think you could afford the rights and toy rights and patents and copyrights of major brands and corporations. And also, just looking at you, I ain't gonna lie, personal opinion, you look like you just make stuff up. I genuinely feel like you're making stuff up. But anyways, tell me what you think about that. And also, side note, I was just thinking about the update with Tyler Robinson's roommate, who's known to be a furry, which is someone who likes to dress up as an animal for weird fetish sexual reasons. If he's gone missing, why has nobody checked the local pound? What? I mean, it's possible he's dressed up as a dog or a parakeet, and he's been turned into the local pound. I don't know. Maybe check there. I don't know. Just throwing that out there. But finally, I'll leave you with this. I've seen this in quite a few places, quite a few posts. It is verified. But I'll let you know now. This post from Colin Rugg on X, it says, the night before Charlie Kirk was murdered, Erica Kirk called a friend to come over to their house to pray for Charlie after a feminist website called Jezebel paid witches on Etsy to curse him, according to Megyn Kelly. Jezebel bragged just 2 days before Charlie was assassinated about how they paid for, quote, multiple curses to punish him. One of the curses was reportedly paid for on August 23rd, and the witch promised that, quote, results would be noticed in 2 to 3 weeks. Charlie was killed 2.5 weeks later. Erica and Charlie Kirk heard about these curses, and that news genuinely rattled Erica in particular, Kelly said. So much so that she and Charlie contacted a friend and asked him to come over and pray with them over Charlie the night before he was murdered. Pure evil, she says. Wow. And, you know, I'm not here to get into beliefs, and I don't really get into religion or politics. I try not to, but what happened was tragic, and I will take that stance and stand by that. And I don't, you may believe in that stuff or you don't, but my point is the fact someone spent their hard-earned money to pay witches to, stir their little big black pots with, smoky green liquid and just cast a spell. And it's great. I mean, listen, I do believe in manifestation. I mean, however you think it is, whether it's prayer or whether it's, these weird little witchy little spells, and you think, if I just add a few raven tears and a few worm turds and stir it all up, I'll make a potion that kills Charlie Kirk. I don't know. I don't know. But the timeline is preposterous, I will say. I'll leave you with that. There's your day-to-day update on the Charlie Kirk situation. And I'll be back with more because I'm sure they'll keep coming. Hope you enjoyed it. And right here is where you can catch the least ridiculous, but it's hard to differ. Listen, I see a lot of different crazy stuff. I have to differentiate and kind of just pick and choose what I feel is newsworthy and worth reporting to you, because I try to stray away from just ridiculousness. But man, when it's something as big as this, there is a lot of ridiculousness, and then there's a lot that should be mentioned, and so I do my best, and I hope you appreciate that. And I appreciate you if this is where you get your news and updates about Charlie Kirk, and I promise to keep giving them to you all the way to the end until we see it through. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.